Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good afternoon, folks, and thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of True Capitalist Radio, where you get the straight dope and not a bunch of, liberal or so-called slanted conservative malarkey, where you're going to hear real business news that makes you money instead of a bunch of circle jerk nonsense that is pretty much slanted to somebody else's perspective. Keep in mind, folks, that everything I say is for educational and or entertainment purposes only, just so that I can get that legal jargon out of the way, because I know that we live in such a dumbfounded world that people actually believe everything they hear and read and go at it verbatim, and if it doesn't turn out as they see fit, they find it convenient to be a little litigious towards those that suggested certain ideas. Anyway, folks, with all that jargon in mind, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Of course, if you want to call into the broadcast at any point in time with any suggestions or questions, or if you want any advice, please call in at 646-652-4869. And if you hear any background noises, what sounds like construction or anything of that nature, once again, folks, I am in an office building. I have an office in downtown Austin, Texas, and Texas is booming. The economy is booming out here. You're seeing all kinds of development, especially in downtown Austin, Texas. A lot of beautiful high-rise condominiums. And that, in the background, if you happen to hear it, is the prosperity of development that's happening down here in Texas, folks. So please keep in mind, I'm not calling you from a damn construction site or anything of that nature. But anyway, we're going to continue on. Let's go ahead and talk. I know it's on the description agenda, but let's talk about it first. And I'm talking about Hu Jintao in Washington. For the continuation of his visitation of America. Now, Hu Jintao, as we've been discussing, has flexed his economic and military might, his military muscles, preceding this whole visit to Washington by announcing in the Wall Street Journal that Hu Jintao actually wants the Chinese currency to be the international monetary standard of all currencies. The global currency of the world is what Hu Jintao wants, this devalued currency of the, whatever the hell it is, renminbi or the kwon or whatever it is, all right? But inevitably, folks, what we're seeing here in America today is the so-called bastion of capitalism that was America. The guys who created this whole game of capitalist exchange of goods and services, we are now bowing down to China. We are now bowing down in a fashion that I have never, ever seen this great country bow down to anyone before. And I would definitely like to hear your take on it about Hu Jintao's visit to Washington and basically, putting a dress on Obama and a wig and, basically telling him how much he's going to put himself out there on the stroll for. And I'm not kidding around. I mean, that's exactly what's happening out here, and it's disgusting that nobody else out here is talking about it. Instead, you've got the mainstream media talking about the grandeurs of ceremony and all these little stupid speeches and all these little photo ops. That's all that the media is interpreting this little trip by Mr. Hu Jintao. But what we should keep in mind, folks, is that this is a move for power. This is a move for power in implementing China as the superior economic superpower of today's current world. And I think we discussed it in last program. A caller called in and said that there was symbolism in the background of the first meeting of Obama and Hu Jintao, where Obama, there's a picture on the Drudge Report yesterday where Obama literally looked like he was bowing down to Hu Jintao in a handshake photo op. And if you looked in the background, you had these symbols of things going towards the east in a symbolic fashion, as if the east is rising once again as the damn power of the international community. And one thing is for sure, though, folks, that we are seeing a negotiation of either mutual distribution of economic power or a handover of economic power. And if you take a look at who owns all the national debt of America, or not all of it, but most of it, I should say. I shouldn't say all of it because they don't own all of it. They just own the majority of it. It's China. China, for heaven's sake. And what's really unfortunate is that we, as the American people, via the American government, are somehow having some negotiations. And, of course, Hu Jintao today did meet with, I think, about 4 or 5, 6 of the top CEOs of the country. He met with Steve Ballmer and the president of Intel and the president of, some communications companies, intellectual property companies, that sort of thing, to discuss so-called qualms in conducting business via the Chinese market, or opening up the Chinese market, so to speak. And on top of which, supposedly, they've come to some sort of an agreement. I mean, this is very preliminary. I mean, this is what we've only heard over the press conference coverage here, what they've allowed to be leaked, or what the public wants to know. But according to Obama, okay, according to Obama, and this is quoting our president, Obama said, I quote, "I absolutely believe China's peaceful rise is good for the world and good for America." Yeah. So, as a result, somehow, Obama is negotiated for America a business deal with China that would mean $45 billion in new U.S. exports. And of course, according to the Obama Hu Jintao hangout session, they talked about quote unquote significant steps in curtailing theft of intellectual property and to so-called expand U.S. investment in China. In my personal opinion, I don't understand what's going on here. I mean, why are we even negotiating? Why aren't we just acting? What we can do as a country to curb this dependency on debts from foreign countries or paid for by foreign countries, means of production that is dominating the international commerce front. Americans need to become innovative and creative in ways of innovating means of production that not only compete with China's low-scale, low-paying assembly line domination of international goods, but to be able to bring us into the future with futuristic goods that we all thought about we were going to get. Remember when the 50s futuristic era was supposed to somehow come along? We were supposed to have flying cars and, we were supposed to have maids that were robots that were supposed to fetch us beers, and we were be able to catch the ball game on their chest or whatever the hell it was. You get the point. The point is, folks, is that instead of sitting here and having the government negotiate business deals for the American people, in my personal opinion, and I hate to get political, but once again, if you try to deal at economics, if one conducts themselves as a capitalist in any country or any political system, one has to conduct themselves in a capitalist fashion based upon the rule of law or the political system that's implementing the rule of law. And right now what we have is President Obama acting as the vanguard of the proletariat over here, as the dictatorship of the proletariat, basically saying to the people, yes, the United States government is doing its job. I talked to Hu Jintao, this bureaucratic communist Nimrod over here, this guy who's probably got more scalps of Tibetan monks than he does have American dollars in his bank account. I actually negotiated with this guy, and we're going to get $45 billion in increased exports, courtesy of China. Yeah, thanks, Hu Jintao. We really appreciate it, buddy. All right. Meanwhile, you've got your people trying to escape out of there because they want to be able to at least speak or be able to cook their own food or run their own businesses or whatever the case might be. And we're bombarded with all kinds of Oriental Asian restaurants on American street corners. I mean, give me a break. Anyway, let me take a sip of this sauce here. I'm sipping some Johnny Walker Blue Label. And for all you Scotch fellas out there, cheers. This is for you. Let me tell you something. It takes a real man to sip on some scotch and not on some of this little Kentucky Fried Chicken piss that they're trying to pass off as actual alcoholic libations. Cheers to all of you out there, especially to all the capitalists. I tell you, I love scotch on the rocks. But anyway, continuing on with the Chinese president's visit. Not only does this kind of implement or implicate the idea of socialism in its purest form happening in present-day America, but it also shows that, and what I've been saying all along, that America is no longer the superpower. For all you NASCAR watching, chaw chewing, cheese whiz guzzling, single wide trailer living morons that are out there, consuming country music and making it the number one music sold in America. You idiots need to get off your goddamn little trailer park porch there, and you need to start realizing that America is no longer the superpower. And the reason that this country is the way it is not only because of our disgraceful, disgusting, power-hungry autocrat government, but it's because of the American people. And I've said it time and time again. I know there's people in here that want to, say, oh, that's not fair, Ghost. You're unpatriotic. You don't believe in America. Well, that's just unbelievably not true. I challenge you to look at the show archive of this program at blogtalkradio.com/ghost and check out about 4 or 5 years of just complete passion and emotion and dedication and attempts to try to inspire intellectual curiosity or in an attempt to spark synapses in the brains of those that can do something out here with these minions that care nothing more than going to large conglomerate fast food restaurants like lab rats run into food pellets, only to go through a drive-through and come back to sit their fat asses on their damn lazy boy chairs and watch reality TV based upon dumb, imbecilic, unrealistic scenarios. Welcome to America. Good Lord. I'm taking another sip of this before I get a little high-strung here. But the point of all this is, folks, is the true capitalists that are in America today. I understand that it's not, and I hope you understand, that the people that have any kind of rational or reasonable thought that understand what I'm trying to say, understand that I'm not anti-American. I'm not some sociopath that hates people. I'm just telling it how it is. What's happening today is a complete withering and a complete destruction of this country, and everybody's trying to blame everybody else, but what we need to do is look in the mirror, because this was a country that was made for the people and by the people, and what these people forgot is that you have to take an element of personal responsibility for not only your social activities, not only your economic activities, but your political activities. And in my personal perspective, if one observes the landscape in America, the people of America have failed all three. And I know there's, individuals out there that are probably pissing and moaning. I know there's people in the chat room that, that are under guest names that are dropping out because I'm not, saying, oh, yeah, it's all about America and America and America. Folks, I've already done that for about 5 years on the Internet, all right? And nobody gave two rats' asses, all right? Morons are more worried about prank calling me so that they can impress some girlfriend that they met on the Internet in some chat room or forum post somewhere, just so that he can see if he can score some finger-banging session by depositing $5 in her Amazon.com account and impressing her by, doing prank calls to my former radio show, True Conservative Radio. I mean, this was the idea. I was sitting here giving the American people pearls, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm still shooting pearls out here. I mean, if you look at the past shows since I've conducted the broadcast as the True Capitalist Radio Show, I've given so many people ways to not only make money, but how to save money, how to use money, how to be a true capitalist, because, folks, the only way you're going to make a true impact in your life is you. You have to do it. And not only do you have to do it, you have to make the initiative and understand that you have to be a capitalist, you have to look at the environment, you have to look at the political systems around you, and you have to do what you have to do. I mean, I'm sick and tired of people pissing and moaning, especially in America, when not only are there still somewhat opportunities here for those that are economically savvy and hungry enough, but we have a political system that bombards this, stagnant American group of massive morons, entitlements beyond belief, I mean, giving them entitlements. Here's some more money for you, for the PO in America, here's some more money for, those that are on disability because they got fibromyalgia, I was actually watching one of these court shows. I think it was I don't know. I'm not going to name the name of the court show, but, it's pretty enlightening television, I'll tell you that. I mean, for all you folks that are frowning on me because I'm admitting that I watch these damn television court shows, you need to take a good whiff. That's America, folks. That's America. Idiots suing each other for $50. That's America. But, somebody actually admitted on one of these court shows that they collect disability because their legs be hurting. I kid you not, quote unquote, my legs be hurting, so I get disability. So you take all those factors into consideration, that we still have opportunity for one to be somewhat of an entrepreneur under definite government regulation, restraint, and, considerable taxation. There's still opportunity. But at the same time, for those that are so-called PO in America, there's so many damn entitlements that are paid for out of my tax dollars and other capitalist tax dollars that it's a shame to sit here and continue to hear this sob story about so many people doing this, they're doing bad, I don't know what I'm going to do, I mean, give me a break. I mean, honestly, give me a damn break. I mean, I know there's people out here that think that I'm some sort of Gordon Gekko sociopath or something, but hey, I'm a realist, all right? The only way you're going to make true change is if one dominates the economic playing field. Economics is what dictates politics. Economics, as we've seen through the influence of Hollywood, through the influence of media, economics also influence the social ramifications of societies. So this is why I've made this transition from a so-called conservative, because let me tell you, the conservative movement let me down. It let me down, and I don't want to get into how it let me down. You can look in the archives to see for yourself. But now I'm a capitalist. I've always been a capitalist. Throughout my whole little internet broadcasting career here, I have always said capitalism or death. Because it's the best form of human motivation. It's the ultimate human motivator. But instead, everybody wants to, play this stupid utopia political romantic game that we can all just hold hands, sing Kumbaya, and we're all going to, have the same amount of great work ethic and the same amount of innovation, the same amount of creativity. What a load of horse crap. I mean, seriously. I mean, what a load of philosophical, political romantic, Karl Marx initiated, Frederick Engels embraced garbage. Unbelievable. Anyway, I know I got off keister there. We were talking about Hu Jintao's visit to Washington and how they're rolling. Not only do they roll out the red carpet for this guy, but we're bowing down. We're bowing down to this guy over here, and and before I move on to another subject, I know that Barack Obama, our president, promised that he was going to initiate a little bit more aggressive dialogue when approaching China's devaluing of its own currency, its debasing of its own currency. Well, that just seemed to go by the wayside, according to reports here. It just wasn't that integral or wasn't that important. So instead, they, tried to, sugarcoat this ridiculous grandstanding of this communist Mao Zedong worshiping chopstick up the ass having asshole by saying, oh, yeah, we did a great job, and we now have $45 billion in future exports from China to America from China, thanks to me, Barack Obama. Yeah, give me a break. I mean, hello, McFly. Who cares if we export $45 billion more to China? We would have been able to do that anyway if the government wasn't involved in private enterprise. The government has shoved so far up private enterprise's ass that you can't even have a garage sale anymore without some municipality or some state, shoving its hand so far up your anal passage to get some sort of taxation out of you. And it's a disgrace. It's just an utter disgrace. And this is why our country is the way it is. Because, I think we talked about this yesterday. Those that work for the state, whether, state or federal, these people are not living in the same reality as everybody else. They're living in a reality where they're not only guaranteed a raise based upon their seniority, based upon how long they've been there, no matter if they do a good job or bad job, whether they progress in the bureaucratic system or not. And on top of which, when they retire with their last year's salary. Every year after their retirement, they get their last year's salary plus 8% increase every year until they croak. And yet, we're supposed to sit here and believe that these bureaucrats that are supposed to be negotiating, things in the private sector, that are supposed to be regulating business, are going to have any kind of true insight on how things work when supposedly implementing these taxes. It's garbage, it's nonsense, and that's why us as capitalists, we need to, start understanding what is happening around us. And I've said this, and I'll say it again, we've got 2 damn years, all right, 2 years to accumulate as much capital, to accumulate as much assets as we possibly can, because that is all we have. We've got 2-year extension on the Bush tax cuts, and all that stupid pork that they put on top of that extension, the remnants of the so-called stimulus package 2, all that stuff's going to run out in 2 years. Now, like I said, I think it was in episode 2 or 3, all right? In episode 2 or 3, I said that the market is going to take a downturn with all the prosperity that it's had since the summer of 2010. In the summer of 2010, May 2010 sometime, the Dow was down to 9,000. All right, it's up. What the hell is it up? I don't even know. It was a bad day. I have everything pretty much long term. I don't do too much day trading unless there's volatility in the market. But whatever it was, I think it was down 50 points or something like that. Here, let me go ahead and look it up while I'm talking here. But just to think, in the summer, it's 11,825. All right, it was down 12 points. I mean, it must have rallied before the damn market closed. Do you understand, folks, that and if you would have listened to me during the summer, you would have made money also. I said that you need to invest. I even said during that time that, the Dow's not going to stay under 9,000, you morons. It went over 10,000 in the 90s. it went over the 10,000 in the 90s. It was just a horrible recession, an economic retraction, a whole bunch of stuff. Now, what we're going to see is a downturn here as we're going into the springtime. What caused the downturn today from so much increases in the past couple of days was the earnings of a lot of the banks and a lot of the financial institutions that were out here, supposed to have, great expectations for earnings. Goldman Sachs was down over 50% on what they expected to earn this quarter. They're down over 50%. And they claim that, bond and stock, trading, wasn't up to par, so it didn't give them as much profits. I mean, you see, this is how pompous, and I hate to get off on another political rant, and I'm sorry for all the capitalists out there that are sitting in that, want to listen to some capitalist news. But Goldman Sachs, has the audacity to sit here and claim that they're, have losses of 53% this quarter. And then you take into consideration that, in 2008, our tax dollars were given to these morons. In Stimulus Package 2, our tax dollars were given to these morons to inflate these profits so that Goldman Sachs, when in 2008 it was trading for whatever the hell it was, $30, $50, whatever the hell it was trading for, these idiots could inflate their books so that they can increase their profits so that the stock can go back up. And now, everybody's, pigged out already. Everybody's already cashed in. They're taking profits from, paying dividends to stockholders. They're doing all this nonsense. And now they're claiming, oh, sorry, we're down 53% in profits in a great market. This has been a great last quarter. It has been a decent beginning quarter, and for these morons to claim that they're having lost profits based upon trading in the bond and stock markets, it makes me sick to my stomach. You could have been an absolute monkey. You could have been a literal monkey. You could have been a dog that took a crap on a group of stocks written on pieces of paper, and I guarantee you that dog turd would make you money. I guarantee you. I mean, that's how the stock market was. That's the way it has been since the summer. Now, because of these bad earnings from not only Goldman Sachs, but it was a few financial institutions that really just tanked it when it came to their earnings. This, of course, it caused a little bit of a downturn. Another thing that caused a little bit of a downturn was the housing economic news that really didn't, spell too well for not only the stock market, but it also caused oil to go down a little bit. Because, this housing report, is going to... I mean, any kind of economic data that's negative at this point in time, in this fragile so-called recovery, is going to dent the market. And I guarantee you, we're going to continue to see these types of economic reports. We're going to continue to see earnings that don't meet up to expectations. But for all those that aren't meeting up to expectations, we do have opportunities out here. Wells Fargo and U.S. Bancorp actually, had profits up for this quarter. Now, Wells Fargo, the only reason that Wells Fargo, in my personal opinion, has profits up was because they had taken a tank during the 2008 credit crisis. Their gums really are still bleeding from that. And like I said about any company that goes down in value, unless they're completely insolvent, unless they're going default, when a company goes down in a stock, you should consider and seriously consider bottom feeding and staying in there because Wells Fargo and I can name a bunch of stocks, but Wells Fargo, for this case in point, is a perfect example of that. If you would have bought Wells Fargo during the time that it was, the whole credit crunch would have taken a dive and you held on to it until now, you'd be reaping some definite profits, because you have to understand how a corporation bases its news. let's say you're a big financial, not really a financial institution, but a banking institution, all right? Let me explain how it works. Wells Fargo 2008 had horrible earnings for consecutive quarters, all right? And like most banks, they stopped paying dividends to their stockholders in an attempt to try to become solvent. And, of course, some of them got our tax money, so on and so forth. But inevitably, there came a low point in that stock. At some point, those bad earnings and those bad reports are, and it's going to take a year or at least 3 or 4 quarters for those earnings to kind of weather off, because it needs a projection from the previous year. So if the previous year really stunk and there was the standards were horrible, everybody lost it, all right? Everybody lost it. But this time around, they had a little bit of an upbeat. Even if the profits weren't big, even if the profits weren't anything substantial, even if the profits really were based upon ridiculous, inflated credit lines, to be honest with you. If they show something better than the bad numbers that they have last year, the stock is going to go up, morons. The stocks are going to go up no matter what stock you have. Unless the company is completely insolvent, unless you have some Ken Lay, Skilling, Enron crap going on. That's how you game the stock market. You buy low, you sell high. All right, it's just that simple, folks. I know there's a lot of day traders out there, and believe me, day trading is fairly lucrative, especially since we have these machines, these black boxes. I don't know if you folks are familiar with black boxes, but they're actual machines that are purchased by these kind of offshoot investment firms that utilize computers in trading stocks in fractions of a millisecond. They work with, millions of dollars, and the computer has been pre-written with an algorithm by some bookworm code addict, some programmer that doesn't get out much. And this computer actually makes millions of trades a week, thousands of trades an hour on an algorithm. There's nothing controlling the computer. Now, of course, people claim that this black box thing, or this black box technology, was the focal point of the crash in April of last year, or the almost crash during the Greece riots and all that. But a good point about these black boxes, and another good point about day trading, is they bring volatility to the market. And volatility creates liquidity. Now, what does that mean? Volatility in the market means that, if you look at a day's chart of a stock, it goes up and down. Maybe it'll go up 50 cents, 75 cents 1 hour. Then people sell off, and it's down to about up 10 cents. Now it's minus 25 cents. That's volatility throughout the whole day. You need that type of volatility as a day trader to be able to make some serious money. And to be honest with you, in my personal opinion, I don't think we're there yet as a market. I know that there's these old-time traders, these fat bastards, that got ulcers and high thyroids and fat face trunks and, receding comb-overs that are out here on the stock exchange saying, this isn't like it used to be. No, I remember I'd have to take my ticket and I'd have to go down and go to a runner, and the runner would have to go down there. Who cares? We're in a new age here, man. This is a global economy, whether we like it or not. And we need volatility. But as my point is I don't believe there's enough volatility in the markets on a consistent basis for one to truly profit in day trading activities. Now, don't get me wrong. There are days out there when you see the market capitalization of certain exchanges, and you check out or not the market cap, but the cap on how much the volume, not market capitalization, is how many stocks outstanding for a specific stock, but the market volume. If you look at certain market volumes in certain exchanges, and it looks pretty high. I mean, there's a lot of exchanging going on. That's when you start thinking about doing that day trading for that day. But don't even think that you're going to get rich overnight doing it. The money is in kind of mid-long or long-term investing. I am not a bear by any means. But I do believe that you do have to hold on to stocks for at least minimum 6 months to be able to have any kind of legitimate profits that's sustainable. You know, I mean, that's worth the whole process. That's worth the energy and the effort put in for research and everything else. You need to be able to hold on to your stocks to make a true profit. I mean, I remember trading stocks in the 90s, and I remember, and I said this yesterday, Apple computers down to about $15. All right? $15 in like 1997, 98, something of that nature. $15. Just imagine if you were the schmuck that said, well, you know, I like Macintosh, and I really like their culture, the technological culture that encompasses the Apple brand. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm working at computers and such, I'm going to take so many some odd dollars, and I'm going to put it in Apple stock for the long term and just sit on it. And just not really worry about it, just kind of, tax shelter it there for a while and just, if you would have kept that up until now, you'd be making a fortune. I mean, the last schmuck, the 52-week high that was just hit before Jobs talked his medical leave or released his medical leave of absence, $348 and change, Apple. So anyway, I didn't mean to get off on that tirade, but the reason I did is because, like I said, there was a rally from summer to now. Now you're going to see a little bit of a downturn. There's still going to be opportunities out there for individuals that can capitalize on this market. But to be completely honest with you, I think that everybody should kind of hold back and wait. The downturn's going to happen, going into the springtime. I can't speculate exactly when it's going to end. But I am definitely speculating that by summertime you're going to see another rally, and it's going to rally hard all the way into the next Christmas time. If you thought that spending looked unbelievable at retail outlets this Christmas, you wait till next Christmas. It's going to be unbelievably pathetic. All right? Anyway, folks, I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. You're listening to the True Capitalist Radio Show. Before, at the beginning of the program, we were talking a little bit about Hu Jintao's visit to Washington and how Obama and everybody in Washington is having a big circle jerk and bowing down to the Chinese president and basically bequeathing economic supreme seniority of the international community to China. I mean, China is literally trying to flex its muscles to the point where it wants to be the global standard. It wants to issue the international monetary system. It wants to issue its currency as the global currency. And we talked a little bit about that. We also talked about how got into a little bit of discussion about how stocks are going to basically take a dip as we proceed into the springtime, because what really got this particular day of bad news and a downturn on stocks today was the earnings reports of certain banks and financial institutions. But there's still going to be opportunities. Anyway, I want to go ahead and go to someplace else. I want to talk about something else, and I want to talk about commodities because in 2009, 2010. Even as I was hooping and hollering all that true conservative radio nonsense and screaming like a madman trying to get the American people to go out there and do something for themselves, I was hollering about everyone out there that's within the proximity of my voice to get into commodities. I said, and you can look back in the archive, folks, if you don't believe me, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. All right? I said that commodities at that time were 75% undervalued. And I said that if you wanted to make some serious money, somehow, some way, get connected with commodities. Become a damn farmer, become a damn commodities broker, get a damn commodities trading account, trade stocks based upon, commodities, cattle companies, people who deal in cotton or whatever the case might be. If you listen to me, you would have made some serious cake. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, I hate to toot my own horn here, but beep. I'm pretty giddy about how much commodities are raising up the wazoo. And for those of you that don't believe me, I mean, you better start believing me. All right, we got record food prices in the world today. Record food prices. Global food costs jumped 25% last year. An all-time high this past December. This is according to that bureaucratic international dumbass institution, the United Nations. But if anybody knows, they know, right? I mean, do you understand what that means? I mean, according to a report off Bloomberg, it said that the poorest countries in the world in 2009 paid 20% more for their food. And, of course, this is because of the global demand for such commodities. Remember, we have a lot of emerging markets coming throughout the international community, and I strongly advise capitalists that are in America try to, stack their chips for the next 2 years and consider investing and even moving to those emerging markets. And it's those emerging markets and the prosperity of those markets that are actually, inspiring this particular rise in food. Supply and demand, baby, the essence of capitalism. And if you would have listened to me in 2009 and 2010, you would have made some serious money, just as I have. I've made some money on a variety of different speculations. That's why I've got my own office here downtown Austin, even though I really don't need one, but it's an excuse to get away from the wife. I got some nice top-of-the-line black, Art Deco desk furniture. I got artwork. I mean, I'm living like Gordon Gekko, baby. And the reason is because you just have to have the balls, and that's what I always say about capitalists. If you're a true capitalist, you have the balls to put your money where your mouth is. And if you believe in your own ability to speculate about the future or speculate about true economic endeavors, then you should be able to be paid for your speculation. Put your money where your mouth is, son, and it's not hard to speculate. I mean, there's markets everywhere. You don't have to know everything. I see some people in the chat room, they're saying, wow, all these things, it's so difficult, it's so complex, it's so complicated. It's not complicated. Just pick one thing you like. Pick one thing you like to do. Pick one thing you want to be. Pick one thing, pick anything. I mean, yesterday I went into a lengthy discussion about how a schmuck that doesn't know shit from Shinola, sorry for my French, can literally use their minimum wage income, save it, gain capital, take a loan out, all right, and basically pay for their living expenses on their loan for the next 3 years of their life while maintaining or saving all the money that they make for another capital nest egg in some other financial institution, and just keep relaying the whole thing forward until you're living in a freaking mansion. I mean, good God. Anyway, folks, I'm sorry. 646-652-4869. We're going to take some calls here and see what people have to say, see if they got any questions. Area code 404, you there?
Hey, Ghost. How's it going?
How's it going, man?
Hey, it's pretty good. I got to say, I'm glad you're back. You've been bringing the fire the last couple episodes, and it's good to hear someone who actually has a clear head on their shoulders actually back on Blog Talk Radio.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I wanted to say, hey, I kind of took your advice on some of it. I started actually stacking my chips prior to listen to you, but I started stacking my chips back in 2009, and I did some investing myself, and it's turned out pretty well. I got in kind of at a low point in the one sector I was looking at midsummer of 2010, and been doing pretty well for myself. And, as far as some of these other, you look at some of these other retards out here that are sitting there saying, buy gold, and that's just a total joke. Why are you going to buy in at the height of the top of that mountain? The only place that has to go is down.
I hear you on that. Now, if you don't mind, what did you invest in? Well, what have you been doing? So give some people some insight out there.
Yeah, actually, no problem. I've been looking at the energy sectors, looking at like utility companies and stuff. There's a few that I saw that had some pretty good PE ratios and everything. So looking at that, and then also now I've been, prior to some of the tech drops today, but there's a few tech stocks I also was able to invest in, and they've pretty well over the last little bit as well.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Now, how long did it take you to save a nest egg for you to start investing so you can tell people, like, did you put so many some odd dollars out of every paycheck, or?
Yeah, what I did basically is that, prior to that I was listening to, the rest of, as you call it, loser America, where they don't even have enough money to live for the next couple of weeks. But what I was able to do is I just, stopped spending like a drunken sailor all the time, buying the $12 drinks for all the bimbos at the bars, and started stacking my chips, because that stuff, man, it adds up. So started just saving so much out of my paycheck, and then each time, you get a raise or whatever, you just increase a little bit more and more. And so, first key.
Did you start a brokerage account at one of these places online, like an online brokerage account?
Yeah, well, the first thing was to become liquid, and then, once you have your emergency built up, then you can start moving that around and decide what investment you want to go to. But yeah, I got into one of the brokerage accounts and started doing a little bit of that. But I'm like you, like you just mentioned, I don't do the day trading stuff, because I think they say, like, on average 60% of those people end up losing the money.
I think it's even higher. I think it's even higher than that, because the bad part about day trading, it's such a high adrenaline situation that you tend to become somewhat of a gambler, and that's basically the instinctive action that encompasses day trading is what really makes day traders lose a lot of money. And at the same time, shorting stocks and playing these financial instruments also doesn't help either. Be careful with those financial instruments like trading on margin, shorting. You got to be purely, so confident on your financial speculation that you're willing to make that type of bet by utilizing a financial instrument so that you can, take profit on your speculation. But you got to be pretty certain. Have you taken part in any of that financial instruments, margin, anything like that?
Oh no! Oh heck no! I stay away from that stuff. If I can't afford it, I'm not going to buy it myself. I'm right now. I'm kind of just starting out. I've only been in the game. I got out of school. I paid for my school. I didn't have debts or go into any type of debt for it. But after that, then now I'm just kind of starting out. So I'm doing some pretty much just blue chips and looking at stocks with dividends and stuff like that. So I can kind of start building from there. But then eventually I'll start getting into some of the more riskier markets. But right now I just want to go with good, solid return.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I would go long-term on a lot of blue chips. One that I advised, I think it was on episode 3 of this show, was Intel. Because I think Intel is way undervalued. I still think it's undervalued. I think it's no coincidence that Intel's president was one of the people that met with Chinese President Hu Jintao, along with, I think, 6 other CEOs that had this exclusive meeting with him today. And it's because of the chip market. That's what they do. They make chips, and no matter what device, no matter what device that comes out, whether it's a phone, whether it's a laptop, whether it's smart iPad, touchscreen, there's going to have to be some kind of processing involved in that, and that's their forte. They're the best at it, and I just think that they're pretty much undervalued. I would buy in as much as I can for the long term. Wouldn't put all my eggs in it, of course, but would go long term on that. And like I've suggested to other folks, once you have a pretty good chunk of net worth, whether it's in stock, whether it's in, putting it in a bank account. Don't be afraid to go to these financial institutions and say, hey, look, I've got stocks from Intel that you've been accumulating for 5 years, and you've got like 1,000 of them. You've got a bank account over here, and you've got about 10,000 in that bank account. Don't be afraid to go up to a bank and say, look. And you also have to be smart about this too. Don't be like everybody else out here in America and say, hey, I want a $800,000 house or something. You go out and you say, hey, look, I want if you want a car, but make sure it's modest, or I want a business. Preferably, I would say that either you invest in a business or invest in yourself. Take the loan out and pay off your expenses for the next 3 years with that loan, and then utilize the remainder of that loan in further investment in the market, if that's your forte, or in a business, and or moving, somewhere else, gaining real estate. Because if you put down money on real estate, the equity on that is also considered an asset, which can be used as leverage for other financial instruments in the future if you happen to be in a bind. So it's a very complicated game, but young man, you sound like you're on your way, and I'm glad to hear that you've been taking some advice, man. And that's why I do what I do, and hopefully you prosper more, and I hope you become a millionaire. I hope everybody becomes. But if you don't, and you realize that you are at the pinnacle of your success, just try to sustain that, and you should be all right, my man.
Yeah. And just one final thing I just wanted to say, that, I definitely, I've been listening to your show, a lot of them on archives, but I got to say, I definitely take some of your advice, but I got to tell you, sometimes when you get all worked up, I die laughing. It's some of the stuff you say. It's absolutely hilarious, but I mean, there's always a kernel of truth to everything you say, which makes it even that much more hilarious. So keep up the good work, man, and keep bringing the fire.
I appreciate it, man, and hey, keep on capitalizing, man.
Will do. You too. Take it easy.
Thank you very much. And that's what I like to hear, folks, and this is why I do what I do. If it's just one young man, I know it's a lot more than one young man, but because I get a lot of emails. As a matter of fact, if you want to email me, ghostpolitics at yahoo.com, even though I'm not really talking about politics anymore, ghostpolitics, all one word, no underscores, at yahoo.com. But I get a lot of emails from young gentlemen like this who say, hey, Ghost, I've listened to some of the things you've said. I've invested in some of the things you've said to invest in, or I've moved my money in some of the directions that you have suggested. I have saved capital and initiated a loan that progressed my life with the bank. Because, folks, you don't want to use your own money to invest in anything. You don't want to use your own money, when investing into a business. You don't want to use your own money when buying a damn piece of real estate. Yeah, you want to use your own money to put it down. I mean, you have to have a down payment on something. You can't put everything on credit. I mean, that's what really screwed up the housing market, was idiots not putting anything down on houses, having, $250 a week incomes and putting down on $250,000 houses out here. But whatever you put down on a house, let's say a house is worth $200,000, you put down $20,000. Well, that $20,000 is like putting it in the bank, but it's safer. And the reason is because instead of holding your money in a bank, which you're going to get some weak-ass interest, like, 1% or some crap like that, all right? You put it in a piece of real estate. When you put it down and buy a piece of real estate, of course, you're going to be financed, so you got to pay a mortgage. But the equity on that piece of real estate is an actual asset. Well, if you speculate right, because, real estate is just like any other market. And out here in Texas, the real estate market has gone through the roof. I mean, let me tell you, I sold my home, late summer, and I made a considerable profit from when I bought it from, because of the people coming down here to Texas to reap the rewards of the economic opportunities out here. And if you're an individual that understands that there's a market somewhere in real estate, and you can get a house, and don't be a flipper about it, you morons, all right? Just because you can sell one house, don't think that you can, take about 4 or 5 mortgages and, do this for a living. All right? I mean, don't be a day trader of homes. All right? But put down on pieces of property, and you can either wait and hold that property and pay the mortgage on that property and wait till that property raises in value. And let me tell you, in Texas, every single month, the damn real estate is raising in value because everybody's coming down here to, get a job. And it's cheap. People can't believe they're coming in from, I'm meeting people from the East Coast, West Coast. They're like, good God, I can't believe for the amount of money that I was paying for some one-bedroom, 600 square foot condo in California somewhere, I can get myself a damn 3-bedroom home with a yard and a dog and a fence and everything. So my point is like, let's say you got $20,000, instead of holding it in the bank and not only getting a crap-ass yield when it comes to interest rate, but if you put it in a piece of real estate, that $20,000 in equity turns into huge amounts more as the real estate, the piece of real estate that you own gets higher. And how does a piece of real estate get higher? Well, more people have to want to move to your area that your real estate resides in. And let me tell you something, folks, it's not that hard to do. I mean, even if you're in, and I'm not telling you to be short-term on real estate, all right? Let me get that straight, all right? Now, let me get that straight right off the bat, all right? But what you do is, you put your capital that you make, because you're working hard for your money, however you're working for it, whether you're, blue collar, white collar, you're working hard for your money. Why are you going to go spend it when you can, put it in a bank account or put it in some sort of financial instrument so that you can go out and take loans on it for even more cash and just pay back a small amount each month while you're living in a goddamn mansion, while you're out here having your own business, while you're reaping the rewards of your financial speculation. It's beautiful. I mean, I just don't understand why nobody else is doing this type of thing. Everybody's pissing and moaning about, I ain't got enough, my kids, and, my kids, I can't do it, I remember my kids. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you heard this young gentleman that called up previously. He sounded like, very young man. I hope he took my advice in not going to college, but he sounded like he did go to college. So, but he said he wasn't in debt. Thank God. He said that he was, kind of going out partying like every young kid does. Everybody likes, the 20s, going out there, sipping the sauce, banging the bimbos, doing all that sort of thing. And then he realized, through listening to my commentary, that, hey, look, I can actually make some cake and, make something out of myself while I'm young, while I still have the energy and the time to take risk. Because let me tell you, folks, when you're young, that's the time you take risk. That's the time you take your money and you take these types of risk so that you can reap rewards for the rest of your life. You see, your parents, they did it completely opposite. They took risks when they were 40 or 50 years old, and in 2008 to now, they're kind of, falling on their faces about it. And how do you think they're going to end up bouncing back, 50, 60 years old? How do you think they're going to bounce back? They're not. And that's what we have here in America, folks. We have that scenario bombarding this country. People that, put themselves in debts that no honest person could ever pay. They had children that they know they couldn't afford, but they had them anyway. All right? And now that the economic situation has contracted and their little cush $50,000, $60,000 job is no longer relevant to this economy, now all of a sudden we're supposed to be, we're supposed to feel sorry for these people because, they weren't fiscally responsible for their own decision making. I mean, it just makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me sick to my stomach, and that's why I'm glad to hear that young man. And I read emails every single day. Every single day I read emails from young people that are utilizing the advice that I'm giving them and banking, man. Don't listen to mommy and daddy. They ain't gonna get you anywhere. On the contrary, in our superficial sick society, in our sick society, when we're embracing cougars, when we're embracing old, prostate-infected 60-year-old gas bags going out with 21-year-old bimbos, when we're embracing, these disgusting displays of sexual perversion on television, I mean, do you think that your mommy and daddy are going to help you? Or if you're successful, do you think that they're going to be genuinely happy? Do you think they're going to be genuinely happy that you accomplished more than them, even though they thought that they were the baby boomer generation and the summer of love, dude? I mean, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So what I'm telling you, young people, and I'm talking about anybody who's under the age of 40, or 45, because I know that, people that are 45, they think they're old gas bags. You're not, all right? You still got a lot of time left in your tank to be able to bounce back, all right? Why don't you use the remaining 5 years left before you get to 50 to bounce back there, you ass clowns? And instead of, withering away and saying, oh, I'm 45, I can't do nothing more, I'm just old. That's why I'm saying, folks, anybody who's under the age of 45 needs to understand that it's up to you. You're not going to get Social Security, all right? I know that you people think that I want to get Social Security when I'm old and that'll take care of me. And you idiots, in 2 years, they're going to start chopping that up. You people are not going to know what hit you. These idiots that are collecting disability on, fibromyalgia and my legs be hurting and all these other dumbass excuses for them to just sit on their fat asses and become Maury Povich subjects. Those days are numbered. This isn't going to be around forever. I mean, why do you think we're having debates in Washington on raise taxes, cut spending, raise taxes, cut spending, raise taxes, cut spending, raise deficits, cut spending? I mean, it's just, give me a break. We've got 2 years left in America, folks. 2 years. After 2 years, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I mean, I'm not trying to be, Alex Jones about it and say that the damn world's going to end and, there's going to be anarchy. But like I've suggested, once the Bush tax cuts are no longer valid in 2 years and, the government wants to start raising taxes because of these high deficits, and they start raising federal taxes about 60-70%. Once they start cutting federal, fat by, laying off federal workers and paying off pensions or defaulting on pensions, the same with the state level, too. Do you think these people are just going to sit back, these stupid bureaucrats that were, used to just sitting on their fat asses and collecting a paycheck by sitting on a desk and moving papers around? You think these bureaucrats are going to be happy that, they're not going to get their pensions that they were promised 8% increase every year until they croak? Do you think they're just going to be happy about that? No. Do you think that the PO in America are going to be happy that they're not going to get as much food card, or they're going to have to cut the housing voucher program, or they're going to have to cut, a free electrical weatherization program? I can name all these stupid programs that are available to the so-called PO in America. Do you think that these people are just going to sit back and say, oh, you know what, we're right. We've got high deficits. I've got to do my part as an American person, and I've got to cut my spending. I got to go out and go get a job. I can't sit on my fat ass and collect paychecks every day from the government. They're not going to do it, you idiots. And it's going to be a serious problem here in this country. I'm not trying to be, scary about it, but it's going to be a very serious situation in this country. And be honest with you, I'm going to try to jump ship before it happens. I'm going to try to go to one of these emerging markets. One of these emerging markets where you can actually use your capital in a farther investing-like capacity, because the worth of, or hopefully the worth of a lot of your net worth is, it goes farther in their economy. Emerging markets, I know there's people that disagree with me, but I strongly believe you got to get the hell out of here. You got 2 more years. Stack your chips and invest in, go to the Fiji Islands or something, go to Belize, South America, Belize. There are some condos out there I saw on, the Home Gardening Network on House Hunters International. I know that you all are going to sit here and you're going to laugh at me. Hey, he's watching the Home Gardening Network. Hey, you're a fruity bastard, Ghost. Well, you got to do something for the wife once in a while. But anyway, I watched this show, House Hunters International, and let me tell you, you want to get a good grip of international markets and their real estate values and what you can get for the American dollar. You need to check out that particular program, House Hunters International. And I was watching one of them where, Belize, South America, an emerging market out there that's, begging for investment. They're going into resort property condominium style real estate, and you can literally have a condo literally 100 steps away from the freaking beach, 100 steps away from the freaking beach for $100,000. Can you believe this crap? Over $110,000, you can live by the beach in some paradise, and go snorkeling every day or surfing or some crap. I'm not joking. Yeah, some good Johnny Walker Blue there. This is what we have to realize, all right? And look, I got Vince in the Bay saying, okay, I'm not a patriot anymore. I want to stimulate Belize's economy. Well, what do you want me to do, Vince, in the Bay? What do you want me to do? I've tried for 5 years to basically convey to people that listen that we got to do something politically so that we can rectify the social and the economic downturn that was happening and did happen during my tenure on the True Conservative radio program, all right? Then came, people that were supposed to represent the conservative movement like Sarah Palin, all right? Sarah Eskimo Bimbo, let me hump a dead moose Palin, over here becoming the mouthpiece of the conservative movement, all right? And now we've got so-called conservatives justifying the depravity of teenage pregnancy. They're justifying, these disgusting, grotesque standards that used to be something that repulsed conservatives. Now we're just sitting here embracing it. That's why I turned my back on even considering anything political any longer there, Vince in the Bay. All right? The American public sucks, Vince, and you're probably one of them. All right? You're probably one of the people I talk about that are sitting there mooching off the American government and, having a damn field day about it. That's great. That's great that, you're over there in the Bay, probably the San Francisco Bay, probably having my tax dollars pay for your so-called medical marijuana. All right? And I'm sure that's great for you. You're living the damn high life, that Cheech and Chong, literally had circle jerks for years over. But, some of us have to maintain some responsibility out here, Vince. All right? And unfortunately, America, the American people, this great country, with all the opportunities and all the handouts now, these people are ungrateful. They don't care. They've turned off their learning capacity. They've turned off their mental capacity. And there's only far and few between in this mass amount of populace that can actually be able to sustain themselves and be able to be prosperous, because most of the American public are worried about, American Idol. They're more worried about, what black guy the Kardashian is hopping on. They're worried about if, Andrea Suleiman or Angela Suleiman, whatever that stupid octo whore's name is, if she's going to shit out another couple of, scientifically induced mutants. This is all the American public, has got here. This is it, all right? This is it. This is the American public here, you know? And I'm tired of it, Vince, all right? You can be Mr. Liberal and, you know, throw compassion to the people and say, oh, it's not their fault and this and that. I mean, you know, it's garbage, Vince. It's garbage. It's utter crap. These people were free, all right? These people were free. They were accorded one of the greatest documents in American history, the Constitution, and now they're wiping their derrieres with it by allowing these power-hungry autocrats to take it away. All right? They're allowing these power-hungry autocrats to take it away. So what am I advising? I'm advising anybody who's listening to become a capitalist and to reap the economic benefits of the transition of this country that's going into socialism. I mean, let's be honest, it's already in socialism. So you might as well capitalize yourself and get the hell out of here before this damn place turns into a third-world technocratic pissing ground filled with people that are, you know, pissing and moaning that, you know, they didn't get a fair shake in life. You know? Give me a break. Let me take a sip of my Johnny Walker Blue on that. You're getting me depressed, Vince, you milky liquor. Anyway, I know I was going to talk about airlines increasing their fares because of fuel costs, but, you know, doesn't that go without saying, folks? Huh? I mean, who the hell really wants to fly anymore anyway, you know? I mean, the only way I'm going to fly is if I charter a jet, you know? And let me tell you, it doesn't take that much to charter a jet. You just need to drop about $3,000, and you can go anywhere in America on a badass private jet, you know, that they don't tell you to buckle up in, you know? One where you can, you know, get up and take a crap during takeoff, you know? One where you've got, you know, some stewardess bimbo, you know, serving you hand and foot because that's her job, you know? I mean, give me a break. But who really wants to fly anymore? You know, the airlines already realize that, you know, nobody wants to be anal probed. You know, nobody wants to show off their Johnson or their Beaver to some, you know, Shaniqua bureaucratic security, Homeland Security guard via these damn scanning machines. Nobody wants to do this. I mean, why would anybody want to do this? I mean, no way. So what if the airlines up the price of their stupid airfares? I'm sick of the airlines. They got bailed out in 9/11, and they're still giving us substandard service. They're charging us for bringing on bags, for heaven's sake. I mean, I'm supposed to bring on a carry-on bag, and that's supposed to suffice my trip, you stupid, dumb bastards? And then you're gonna charge me about $30 or $50 per bag? Good God, you idiots should be pistol whipped for sitting here implementing that type of nonsense. And then on top of all these fees and all the, you know, the charges or whatever, yeah, the TSA, whatever the hell it is. There's so many bureaucrats. There's Homeland Security. There's TSA. There's the National Security Agency. There's the CIA. There's I mean, who cares about these bureaucrats? This was a country of freedom. We're not a country of freedom anymore, folks. And until you realize that, until you, open your eyes and smell the coffee and, take a good whiff at the fact that this is an incremental authoritarian police state, then you're obviously going to continue to, live in some political fantasy. Anyway, folks, I don't really give a crap if the airlines up the price of their stupid airfares. I don't care, all right? I don't really care. I mean, as a matter of fact, they should piss off, really. I mean, I hope the airlines go under, really, I don't understand why the airlines can't pay for their own security. I mean, aren't these idiots, in charge of these planes here? Not only can they not update the integrity of the plane by regular maintenance checks and, garbage like that, but now, they can't even pay for their own security. They're solely reliant on this government of ours, whose solution to preventing any kind of tragedy in the air is by scanning everybody naked. Huh? Great. Anyway, I know I'm going off keister here. Anyway, 646-652-4869. Let's take another caller here. 727, you there?
I'm here.
How's it going?
Well, I'm waiting for you to tell me how to make some money.
Well, why don't you open your ears? Where are you from?
I'm from 727.
Yeah, well, why don't you tell me where that is? Where are you from?
Where are you from?
Hey, get this stupid shit-kicking hick. Get him off! You stupid dumb hick. Why don't you open your ears? You see, this is America. This is what I was just talking about, folks, right here. Some ignorant, sentence fragment spitting, chaw chewing, single wide trailer living, hee-haw watching piece of garbage calling up here saying, I'm waiting for her to make some money. I mean, this is how our American public are, man. They have to be spoon-fed. They got to be spoon-fed information, step by step. I mean, for them to say, "Oh man, how do I make money?" Why don't you listen? All right, 727, you milky liquor. I mean, good God, you're sitting here, I'm waiting for you to make some money. Won't you listen, you moron? I've been talking about money the whole time. I don't understand. Make some money. I bet you're one of those bastards, right? That had kids you can't afford, and you got debts you can't pay for. Isn't that right? 727. Is that why you're calling me up for money?
No, I got a good job.
Oh yeah. Well, what the hell's your problem then?
I just waited for you. You're whining about airplanes. I wanted to hear how to make some money.
Well, I've told you how to make some money. I've been telling you and explaining the markets to you, for heaven's sake. What do you don't have a vernacular that can comprehend the type of things that I'm trying to convey on this show to you there, son?
No, I didn't. I wasn't tuned in when you were talking about that.
Yeah, well, maybe you should stop whacking off to naked pictures of Ricky Martin's ass crack and maybe start listening in to shows like this, and maybe you'll enhance your life instead of sitting over here thinking, you're some Billy Badass, cracking jokes over a telephone and, thinking that, you're swinging nuts on the size of grapefruits or something. All right, just sit there and listen. Look in the archives, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. All right? We're making money here. I was talking about, here, you want a stock tip? Here's a stock tip for you. All right? Why don't you just throw a damn dart at the S&P 500 and invest in that? All right? Do that and go long term. All right, buddy? Give me a break. See, this is why I'm saying, folks, for the true capitalists out there, you've got 2 years left. 2 years left to gather up as much capital and assets as you possibly can before, you've got idiots like this moron from 727 coming into your house because he no longer has his job that pays him $30,000 to clean enema bags for a living. All right? He's going to be pissed about that. And he's not going to go out and take the jobs that are available to him now because he's going to believe that I'm better than that. I'm better than $9 an hour. I used to get paid $35,000, $40,000 a year. I'm better than $9 an hour. I'm collecting unemployment for 99 weeks. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to collect unemployment for 99 weeks and, just kick back and, go to the club, and just play myself off as some, hotshot 40-year-old uterus-infecting playboy. Jesus Christ. Anyway, is there anybody else out there that needs some, financial help or something? I mean, is this all that America encompasses? Is there anybody in the international community? Anybody out there at all? 646-652-4869. Do you have some kind of financial trouble? Huh? You finding it hard to, save or, invest or whatever? I mean, give me a call. I mean, don't be like this jag-off here. Are you there, 727?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what's your story, huh? What's your excuse?
Excuse for what?
Well, what do you do? What are you doing? What's your position in life?
I make 6 figures. I own a house, and I've got a handful of kids.
Okay, so what's your problem? Why don't you give the people out there some advice? How did you get there?
How did I get there? I got a good job. I worked my way up to a good job in life.
Oh, yeah. What industry?
Actually, building materials. As crazy as that sounds.
What? You distribute croissants? What'd you say?
I said building materials.
Building materials. Oh, I see. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, if you would have heard earlier, sir, I was advising everybody out there who's, in the business of making money, our capitalists, not to sit here and go out and utilize their own money to go into their own ventures. I mean, only an imbecile would start a business and utilize his own money. And the reason is because when you run out of money, then what? You've got nothing. You start from zero, But this way, let's say you take a loan out and you make some money and or you get some money from the bank because you have to have capital. You have to have capital to get a loan. So you have to save money to put in a bank so the bank can take you serious. But let's say you take the loan out, and let's say worst case scenario, all right? Let's say worst case scenario, you go belly up, all right? You go belly up and, nothing happens, you don't profit and, you just lose your ass, all right? Well, all you have as an obligation is that monthly expense for your bad investment, which is a simple monthly expense. So, if you have a good job, just go to work and pay the monthly expense. It's your bad decision. I mean, remember, the bad part about conducting yourself as a business person is to understand that when you fail, you got to get yourself up off your ass and do something about it, all right? I mean, seriously, you need to get up off your ass and do something about it. But, if you go get yourself a job and utilize that, monthly expense for your loan for your old failed business as a motivation or as a reminder of failure, and once you are done paying that loan, all the capital that was put forth to get that loan it's yours again. I mean, it was yours to begin with. I mean, it's relinquished. It's free. So once you pay off the loan, you still got your collateral that you used for that loan, and you can add it onto your cash reserves and utilize it for more capital again. I mean, this is what I'm talking about out here. It's so easy. I'm telling you, if people were just, not so materialistic, if people would realize that, you can do without the damn electronical widget made from China, all right? I mean, you can do without it, all right? I mean, some idiot worked on an assembly line for 9 cents an hour so that they could sell that iPad or iPhone or whatever at like $5 wholesale, all right, so that they could sell it to you for $500. I mean, that's what you idiots need to start understanding, that this is what you people are spending your money on. I mean, you're spending your money on crap. You have to understand that if you are going to spend your capital, if you are going to spend your money, you have to make sure to spend your money on something that you can liquidate. You can't liquidate an iPad or an iPhone. I mean, you can within like a year from when that product was initiated in the market. When it was first produced on the market. A year from then is the only time you're going to actually get some true liquidity from it. Other than that, it's going to turn into a piece of junk, just like every other electronical device turns into. It doesn't have long-term liquidity opportunities. And most people purchase crap. That's what it is. Crap is something you cannot sell for cash later on if you have some sort of a bad scenario. I mean, if you need some cash in some fashion, that's what's really unfortunate. And that's why I'm trying to tell people out there that are listening in to the True Capitalist radio show Don't be a freaking tool, all right? Don't be an ass clown and contribute to the degrading of the American system anymore. Go out there and make some capital. Capital is the key. And don't keep it in U.S. currency. Sticking with the topic here, the U.S. currency, our, American dollar, our American dollar is at a 2-month low against the euro. And, of course, everybody asks, well, why is that happening, Ghost? Why is the value of our dollar going down the damn shit bowl? Excuse my French. Because of our American government who consistently spends on all these ridiculous entitlements and all this pork barrel spending and all the garbage that indebts us. That's, first of all, depleting the buying power of our American dollar, and it's going to continue, folks. So if I were you, I would not hold too much money in American currency. And if you are, the only reason that you should be holding it in American currency is to try to get a cash reserve for capital for a loan from a bank. Because unless you're a drug dealer, which I don't advise you to be a drug dealer because you're going to get into some serious trouble. There's no reason to sit here and hold on to your cash. There's no reason to hold on to cash. Cash is going out of style. And I don't get me wrong, it's not because I want it to. I want cash to be around. I think that those of us that work hard and make money, and we want to see a physical representation or a physical manifestation of our capital. And money provides that. But the buying power of our dollar is down. I mean, for every €1, it's going to cost an American $1.35, and that's at market price. That's before they mark it up so that whoever you're cashing in or doing the exchange with marks up a commission so that you can exchange. But right now, $1.35 to €1. All right. And what I'm saying is we need to realize we cannot sit here and pussyfoot around by thinking that the American dollar is going to redeem itself. You see a lot of gold pumpers out there on the TV. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that gold is going to go up. I don't think it's the great invaluable commodity that they're trying to claim here. They're trying to claim that gold is just something that's just going to remain valuable. It's going to continue to go up. The same crap they did for the real estate markets in some of these bigger markets like California. They said the same thing. Oh, gold is never going to rise, never going to lose its value. It's always been around. It's practically indestructible, and so on and so forth. And if you look on the news channels and check out every advertisement by some gold firm or gold selling firm or gold equity firm, whatever the case might be, there's so much gold pumping that you take that into consideration. You take into consideration that the devaluing of the American dollar, gold itself is going to continue to rise. And I would consider, or I would advise everybody who's listening to at least put in 10, 15, even 20% of their portfolio in gold. And the reason I'm saying that is in 2 or 3 years, after these tax cuts reset themselves, we are going to see gold up to like $3,000 or $4,000. All right, I'm thinking 3, but we love a bubble. America loves a bubble, so I would not be surprised to see it at $4,000 an ounce. But it's definitely going to go up to $3,000. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of idiots during that time. They're going to get greedy. They're going to try to hold on. They're going to try to do whatever it takes. So that's why I'm saying what you need to understand is you cannot, I repeat, you cannot hold on to your gold for the long term. This is definitely a 2 or 3 year investment. All right? 2 or 3 year investment. I mean, look at all the gold. Hey, sell your gold. We'll buy your gold. Or buy gold shares. Buy gold bars. Gold, gold, gold. People are hoarding this stuff. And on top of the hoarding, which, increases supply and demand, the devaluing of the American dollar. Because gold is a shiny rock, folks. It's not a commodity that's going to be sought after if there's a complete and utter economic destruction. All right? I mean, when there's an economic destruction, people aren't going to give you food for gold. All right? They don't give a shit about gold. Gold's going to be like, well, who cares? They're going to trade you for other foods or industrial products, heating products, the products for survival and sustenance. All right, not gold. But if you do want to capitalize on this damn gold rush, I strongly advise you all to, try to put in as much as you can, 15, 20% of your portfolio in gold, and hold on to it, because you're going to see a hell of a ride up to the top. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. I want to hear from you. If you have anything that you want to chime in about, or if you need any kind of financial advice, if you're in debt, if you're one of these people that say, I can't make it, Ghost, I can't do it, baby. Well, give me a call. I want to hear from you. All right, I want to hear from you, and I want to hear why you can't do it. All right, I'm sick and tired of hearing people saying, man, I tried everything, man. When I got a job, man, did all this, sold oranges, man, did all that. I can't do nothing, man. Ain't nothing for me to do. I gotta go out there, man. I gotta give me entitlement, baby. I gotta get me some Obama cash, baby. I mean, I want to hear from you right now. I want to hear the actual excuses for why you can't go out there in this American society and not only maintain your sustenance, but be able to put in some odd dollars in the bank. All right? It's not that difficult. All right? Even if you're making minimum wage, for heaven's sake. I mean, no one makes minimum wage forever. I mean, bust your ass, work harder. Just maintain your sustenance and put some odd dollars in the bank. Very simple. Or, buy gold. Buy some gold chains or something. But, be careful, because they like to jack fools out here nowadays. I don't know if you noticed that, crime's on the rise, specifically with jewelry, because gold is sought after by a lot of people who want to buy it. So I wouldn't be Mr. Birdman or Little Flip bling blinging, about any of this, any of the rapper type, flamboyancy of gold, because you could get jacked. This is America. Anyway, I was just told on the chat room that I'm so mean. I'm a meanie. Ghost, you're a meanie. Are you kidding me? I'm a meanie? I mean, why don't you grow the hell up for a little bit, huh? Why don't you realize that you got to suck it up and you got to go out and survive in this world? Before civilization came along and provided us the opportunities to live like the pompous jerk-offs that we're living today that believe that everything should be handed to us on a silver platter without working, before all civilization brought that out, we had to actually make our own homes. We had to make them ourselves. Nobody taught. There was no school for building homes. I mean, there was no school for sewing clothing or making any of these other things that one had to do. We just had to do them because we had to survive. Well, now in today's modern society, that's induced by media and, the Hollywood and social disgusting disgrace of social landscape. Now everybody's just pissing and moaning about everything. If they're not pissing and moaning about what they don't have, they're pissing and moaning about what they don't want. They're pissing and moaning about what they don't want to hear. They're pissing and moaning about this. They're pissing and moaning about that. Why don't you take your heads out of your clogged up colon pipes, because I know it probably smells like a carnival urinal in there. Take a look at the real world. and realize that things are not going to go your freaking way, you stupid moron. All right? This society is not meant to serve you because you exist. That's what I don't understand about, this society of ours that believes that every human being is God's special little creature, as if we're supposed to just kind of, accept everybody, even if they make no contribution to the mechanism of civilization. I mean, don't you idiots realize that that's what makes civilization? Civilization is the fact that people as a whole have to contribute to the civilization so that it can continue to run as a legitimate system. I mean, don't you realize that? I don't think a lot of people in America realize that. I think they realize that they can get a free ride by being as dumb as you can possibly imagine and pretending that you can't do a damn thing. I mean, that's basically what America is. It's like, man, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't. I need disability. I need Social Security. I need Medicaid, Medicare. I need to buy a hover-round. I need to get one of those damn motor scooters from Medicaid so I can wheel my fat ass around and consume on the materialistic widgets imported from China via my government entitlements from the taxpayer. That's what I need, I mean, this is America here, man. I mean, come on. Remember, we used to be the bastions of capitalism. We're the damn bastards of capitalism, for heaven's sake. Come on. Jesus. Anyway, I'm sorry I'm getting off keister. I may be getting a little drunk here. But, hey, it's the end of the work day. Everybody's making money. Hopefully you're making money. 646-652-4869. Once again, folks, there's so many opportunities still for American people out here. I know that, people are going to piss and moan and say that there aren't. But if there wasn't, we wouldn't have immigrants coming over here owning businesses, folks. I mean, I hate to keep reiterating. I hate to keep fucking beating that damn dead horse, excuse my French, but, why every time you go and pay gas, you have to pay some damn foreigner to pump it? Why do you go into all these damn restaurants? Because, to get these so-called foreign cuisines, because, there's opportunity. And the foreigners coming into this country understand, unlike you American people, that they're going to take advantage of that opportunity. They're not going to go out here and go to the bar and blow, $7, $8 for a drink for some stupid bimbo who's showing off her new boob job that she got for $2,000 off of her damn child support check that she gets deposited in her damn debit card. I mean, we got to realize where our priorities are. And I've said this time and time again. A certain element that comes along with liberty, a certain element that comes along with freedom is personal responsibility. And for all you stupid American people that are out there that are pissing and moaning about your bad situation, about, my kids, and this and that, don't you idiots realize that a society that's made with freedom and liberty, you, as an individual, you stupid idiot, have to take responsibility for your own bad actions, all right? You can't blame the world. You can't blame your mammy. You can't blame society. You can't blame the education system. You can't blame the government. You got to blame yourself. And if any of you idiots that are going to sit over here and say, I didn't have the opportunity, Ghost. Nobody taught me nothing. I didn't have access to knowledge. You don't have access to knowledge? Well, then what are my goddamn tax dollars doing going out here purchasing these large pieces of real estate called public libraries that are being utilized by the PO in America for free video rentals? Huh? I mean, here you've got knowledge at your fingertips, not only at public libraries, but you've got the internet. The internet where all you have to do is type in a couple of words and you can learn anything you've ever wanted to know about those freaking words. I mean, what the hell's going on here, people? I mean, this is America. This is why I get so pissed. This is why I just get so hyper and I just get so angry, and it's a disgrace. Let me take a drink before I have a freaking coronary on this damn show, for heaven's sake. Good God. 646-652-4869. We got 21 minutes left here on the True Capitalist program, folks. And once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. The quickest way and the best way to find out when I'm going to conduct these broadcasts is to follow me on Twitter. The Twitter name to follow, folks, is Ghost Politics. All one word, no underscores, Ghost Politics. And, of course, if you want to send me an email, ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. But anyway, folks, I mean, you know, the reason I'm getting so upset, folks, and the reason that I've been told that I talk like some, you know, Gordon Gekko sociopath is because we live in such a society. Well, it's dwindling, all right? It's not the same society we used to know, but we still have opportunity. All right? We still have opportunity. The problem is nobody wants to take initiative to go get it. No, American people just want it handed to them like a goddamn, lab rat to a food pellet, like some horse, with those stupid buckets around their chompers. You know how they feed horses? They put a bucket around its head so that the damn bucket hole is right there by its chompers. You know, that's America when it comes to, feeding themselves and clothing themselves and sustaining themselves. That's it. You know, and I know there's people, they're private messaging me up saying that I'm anti-patriotic, that I'm against, America, that I'm ashamed of this country. And, I beg to differ. I think you're ashamed of this country. I think the people, whenever I walk out to the supermarket or whenever I'm out at a retail shopping center and I see the sour scowls on the puss of every single face that walks graces my presence. I mean, that's what's a detriment to this disgusting, situation that we're in today. Individuals that they're never going to get happy, They've lost their families because they've dedicated their whole outlook, their whole idea into consuming and accumulating materialistic widgets. And now that they are no longer able to obtain these materialistic widgets in the mass amounts of quantities that they're used to, and now, they have no families, of course, because, we've destroyed the family via Hollywood and the media and Cougar Town and all this other crap. Their kids are, from broken homes. They're living by themselves. Well, what happens? They become losers. They become detriments. That's why a lot of these people out here have no integrity themselves. I mean, have you gone to a restaurant lately? Have you gone to a freaking restaurant? These idiots are going into 4-star restaurants with freaking NBA shorts and a T-shirt, and flip-flops. No shame in America today. These people are going into the Olive Garden with their babies in a damn diaper, running around in a diaper, nothing else. I mean, they don't even have shoes, for Christ's sake. I mean, this is what I'm saying, folks. I mean, is there anybody else out there that's listening? I mean, hey, hello, is this thing on? I mean, is this damn thing on? This is why I'm telling everybody that's a capitalist out there that has integrity, that knows how to make some cash, to save it, and let's get the hell out of here, man. I'm not telling anybody to go anywhere specific. It's the world, baby. You can go anywhere you want. You can go to some emerging market somewhere that, you can live like a king, man. You can live a lot better than you're living right here. Like I was telling you, I'm not telling people to go to Belize. It was just one of the things I saw was it last evening, where you can literally get a beachfront property in crystal blue beaches, white sands. You can get yourself a damn condominium in Belize, 100 feet away from the ocean, $110,000. Give me a break. And look at this, there's some asshole in here. How does he know how much the Olive Garden costs? He must go to Olive Garden all the time. You stupid asshole. I haven't gone to Olive Garden in years. You want to know why? Because the food card is accepted at Olive Garden. Then you're wondering why you got crackheads, giving you these never-ending pasta bowls as waiters over here. That's why. You think that people that are utilizing the food card to go eat this crap are going to leave a tip? You think you're going to get some kind of good service from some place that accepts the food card? I think not. I mean, give me a break. Let me take another sip of the sauce here. I'm telling you. I'm sorry. Look, there's people here that are taking offense to some of the things that I'm saying, that I'm harsh and that I'm insensitive, and, how dare you. I'm being real. This is our country, man. I mean, I wouldn't be saying it if it wasn't true, all right? I would not be saying it if it wasn't true, but it's the damn truth, man. I mean, we've lost our shame. You know that there's an actual show on Showtime. I believe that, I don't know, one bastard that was on Boogie Nights that killed himself, that guy's the lead character. It's called Shameless. Shameless. That's the name of the show. Shameless. Why exactly would somebody in media release that at this point in time? I'll tell you why. Because that's exactly what we're living in. A shameless world, a shameless environment, a disgusting disgrace of itself. Anyway, I'm going to take a couple of calls here before the last 15 minutes are up. 646-652-4869. And, I don't know, I mean, supposedly we got Vince in the Bay on the horn over here. Vince, are you there?
I am, Ghost.
What's going on? What's your excuse?
I just want to throw a number out here for you. That number is 5 quadrillion. Now, Ghost, can you count that high?
5 quadrillion?
5 quadrillion. You know what that number represents?
Well, what is that? What does that represent?
Outstanding derivatives. Do you know what outstanding derivatives are?
Yeah, you're talking about, the selling of are you talking about all the selling of debt throughout the international community?
Bro. It's the instruments you were talking about are said derivatives. We're talking about stocks, bonds, bets, side bets on side bets. We're talking about subprime mortgages that are folded into other securities and securitized and then bundled with others and securitized and sold and resold. These are basically what you're pimping on your show. You've turned yourself into this little BTR Susie Orman, and you're trying to get people into the stock market.
Susie Orman now, huh?
Yeah, you're trying to get people into the stock market, and while we're sitting on these $5 quadrillion of derivatives that are still unfolding, still trying to get worked out. People like you are trying to get more people to jump into the system, into the fucking fray of this Wall Street run minstrel show that is designed for you to fail.
I'm not telling everybody to just exclusively get into the stock market. I'm not exclusively telling. Hold on, Vince. Hold on, Vince. Hold on a second. I'm not exclusively telling people just to get into the stock market. I'm telling people to do something with their capital. All right? I mean, if you look at America today, what are they doing with their capital? They're going out and spending it on electronic Chinese widgets. All right, that are produced for $5 a pop, and they're buying them at $500 a pop. All right, I mean, you look at the television show, you take a look at what we're pimped out over here, the potty putter, huh? I mean, you take a look at what's some company actually has convinced American people that $2 bills with the Grand Canyon painted on the back of it is somehow worth $20 freaking dollars. All right, I mean, this is the stupid American public you're talking about. Now, if you're going to make a point that some of these financial instruments that you just described, are not necessarily the safest, places to put one's capital, well, I'll agree with you. But, what you need to understand, Vince, is just because, some people lost some money, just because some people just didn't really understand the financial instruments that they were partaking in, doesn't mean that the system sucks. There's a lot of people reaping benefits. There's a lot of people producing. There's a lot of people creating out here because of this great system that we have. All right, now look, I'm not gonna disagree with you. We're living in socialism here in America. If you look at my damn archive, I mean, I've been hollering about that for 5 years. But what are we going to do about it now? Nothing. Nothing. We can't do anything about it now. So what am I telling people that listen to me, that really care about what I say, to go out and invest, and not only just invest in the stock market, invest in a freaking business, invest in art, invest in wine, invest in anything that's going to get you a profit there, Vince. I'm not just discussing everybody throw their damn life savings into the stock market. That's just really ridiculous. But you see, we've got leftist California living morons like yourself that are going to sit here and make people like me look like a bad guy. You paid me with a picture with some guy with a greaseball hairdo and a pinstripe suit flipping a nickel, and you get this damn image conjured up in all these damn liberals' brains out here, and this is how you damn liberals win your damn little side pony show out here because of this damn rhetoric that you're trying to spew off as legitimate rhetoric. It's not. It's just complete and utter propaganda. All right, now, yeah, look, Vince, I'll agree with you. People lost money in subprime derivatives. People are still losing money in derivatives. People are losing money in stocks. People are losing money in bonds. People are losing money in all kinds of financial instruments. But what makes those that profit different from those that don't profit is the fact that they are more intuitive and understand and take the initiative to read, to research, to understand these markets, to find a smidge or a huge mound of profit in the midst of all this jungle. And let me tell you, because it's become international, there is more and more opportunities for American people, especially American people with capital, than you think. And just because you and your liberals out there don't understand the complexity of this financial system doesn't mean that we should sit back and bow down to some bureaucratic United Nations international consortium bureaucracy that you're trying to suggest. That's what you're suggesting, aren't you, Vince? You're suggesting that we bow down to some international regulatory financial overlord of the world so that bureaucrats end up making the final decision in private enterprise. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're totally wrong. You totally made that up out of your ass, dude. You have no idea who I am and what values I have. Just because I'm challenging you on your ideas make me automatically a liberal, okay? And if I agree with you on something, that doesn't automatically make me a conservative, all right? Because I'm not as narrow as that, all right? I'm much more complicated a human being than simply a left person or a right person, all right? Or somebody who lives in the Bay. I must be gay too, right? And so,
well, I don't know. I didn't make any assumption. Hold on. You see, now you're trying to make me out to be a homophobe. All right. You see, now you're trying to make me out. You see, this is a classic liberal agitation. Because I yanked you out of the damn West Coast closet and proving you to be the bureaucracy champion pieces of crap that you are. Now all of a sudden I'm anti-gay, right? Why did you have to throw that in there, Vince? Huh? Why do you have to throw that I'm an anti-gay person? I mean, now you're going to say that I hate black people too, right?
Yes, you were waiting for it, honey. You wanted it, didn't you, sister? Didn't you
what?
want it, Ghost? You like it that. You like it that way, don't you, Ghost?
Like it what way again? What was that? Say it again.
Why? Well, you're obviously homophobic, so.
See, I knew this is a slant. I knew there was a slant here. Look, I am not homophobic, Vince. All right. What I'm against is your agenda. All right. I'm against homosexual parades. Exactly. You're damn right. I am against where you got homosexual parades in the middle of the street at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon when children are walking around in the streets, and you've got two imbeciles having oral copulation with each other across the street from an elementary school, and we're supposed to justify that through the First Amendment because fruity asses like yourself are trying to justify that as free speech. All right, that's what I'm against. I'm against you trying to be so flamboyant with this sexual deviancy and trying to shove it down our throats as if it's supposed to be the social norm to see assholes give each other rim jobs on the corner of streets. All right, I don't want to see that, and that's what I'm against. Okay, I don't care what people do in the privacy of their home. I don't care if they're carpet munchers. I don't care if they're butt pirates. I don't care if they're fruity asses. I don't care if they're squirrel fisting. All right? I don't care if they amputate horse penises and utilize that in some philanderous purpose. I don't give a crap. All right? But what I do give a crap about there, Vince, is you and your damn West Coast, California-leaning, surfer boy, turn everybody into a gay emo fruit bowl agenda that's out here and is not only prevalent but is obvious in your rhetoric in your call to me today. Am I wrong or am I right? This is why you're calling me. It's not because I'm teaching people how to make money. It's not because I'm making everybody who's out there that's claiming that this is such a bad society look lower than a leprechaun's nutsack. It's because of the gay thing, isn't it, Vince? I mean, come on. I mean, why does it always have to slant to that? Why?
I don't know. I guess I just took it there just because I get that a lot, because my screen name is Vincent the Bay, and a lot of people say, "Oh, what are you, Vincent?" So I was just waiting.
First of all, you brought the gay thing up. Secondly, now I actually think you're gay because now I'm hearing the vernacular. I hear in your vernacular. I'm hearing that feminized, fruity-ass little twang in your voice. So now I kind of believe maybe you are a little fruity-ass. Maybe you are playing for the pink team. So. Okay, I get it. All right. Anyway, that's about enough of this. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and argue. I am not, political anymore, folks. But you see, these liberals, they call me up, and they're trying to suck me back into the political spectrum. I could care less about politics in America. You understand that? I could care less. I'm about capitalist endeavors. I'm about making money. I'm about, making profits. And I don't care about anything else, to be honest with you. I got my family. I've got my inner circle. I'm growing my corporation. And that's all that matters to me. That's all that matters. I don't care about, individuals on the street. I mean, that's the thing about you liberals. You want us all to care about every stupid human being on the planet, even though they are not making any kind of contribution whatsoever to this civilization. And once again, that's what makes a civilization is the fact that everybody that's in it makes a contribution to it. Because if people stop making contributions to it and become nothing more than, shit and piss bags, well, we're going to go into a serious problem, similar to anarchy, So that's why I'm saying, folks, let's not, sit here and continue to tout that every human being in America, or in the world for that matter, is God's special creature. All right? People are like everything else. All right? You're going to get some winners, but a lot of losers. All right? A lot of freaking losers on here. And all I'm saying is you don't have to be one of those losers, folks. You don't have to be. And you heard the young man that called in earlier. He's been listening to me for a long time, utilized some of the things that I've conveyed on this broadcast. He's invested in some of the things that I've suggested, and he's banking. And you want to know why he's banking? It's because he didn't want to stand on the sidelines and hope. He didn't want to stand on the sidelines and wish that he could get some sort of handout. He didn't wait for Mammy and Daddy to give him some sort of trust fund that was never going to happen. He went out there and invested, and he did what he had to do just like you do, and that's why I'm saying, all right? That's why I'm saying everybody that's within the sound of my voice right now need to realize that the only person that's going to change anything is you, and the only thing that you can change is yourself and your surroundings. Remember, in this system, as a capitalist, you're the god of your world in this capitalist idea, and that's what you need to realize. Don't sit here and take this crap from the. We're not going to just take this crap from any government system that's going to try to sit here and suppress our capitalist growth. And that's why I'm trying to tell everybody out there, go out and become a capitalist. The capitalists are the ones with the balls. All right, the ones with the balls the size of grapefruits that slap liberals upside their chin into reality and realize that capitalist is what inspires innovation. It inspires creativity. It's the greatest human motivator of all time. And if you don't believe me, it inspired the Industrial Revolution. It inspired the Technological Revolution. And it will continue to inspire markets. And it will continue to inspire innovation. So as long as we, as the general American and a general world population, don't fall victim to political romance of collectivism, of socialism, of anything that is going to keep us stagnant in human mediocrity, because that's what I'm against, human mediocrity. We need to be progressing. We need to be extending our technology. We need to be going out into space. We need to be colonizing planets. This is the kind of crap we should be doing, but instead we're pissing and moaning. We're bickering at each other over here over dumbass political games, over social ideas, and it's ridiculous. So before I get off this show here, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Be a capitalist, and if not, then just keep bitching, all right? Keep bitching and get the hell out of a capitalist's way. Anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Bookmark the official webpage, blogtalkradio.com/ghost is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio Show. If you want to email me up and chime in on anything or have any questions, give me an email, ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. Ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. And, of course, the Twitter name, folks. The Twitter name, Ghost Politics. So anyway, I'm out of here, you milky lickers. I'm going to be back on tomorrow, same place, same time. Long live capitalism, and I'm out.
Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.